So I was like, Romanoffs, great. And I'm looking at the cast, and I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, there's not a single person of color, no diversity. So I am not interested. And then I watched the first episode. Oh my God, it was so good.
So tonight
on Front Row Divas, welcome back to another scintillating half hour of conversation,
of discussion,
debate,
healthy debate,
camaraderie, laughter, tears.
Sometimes tears. We try to serve up the truth for you on Front Row.
We have to. We have to serve up the truth.
We have to.
There's a lot of good stuff that's out right now with the networks.
There's so much out there. I think, like a lot of Americans right now, as I've said many times before, I'm in a rage about so many things that I go inward and I just want to go under the covers and watch something good and escape right now. In my escape mode last weekend, my mom, who I shared the love of Mad Men with for many seasons, it reconnected us in a way because that was her heyday in the early 60s. That was definitely her and my dad's heyday. And so we really talked about the truth of Matthew Weiner and his whole obsession with his parents, and mainly the character of Don Draper in Mad Men, who was a philandering,
alcoholic,
serial, just lady killer.
Yeah.
So his latest, because he hasn't done anything for a while, is this series on Amazon called The Romanoffs.
Oh, The Romanoffs. And can I just say, I was not feeling it. From the trailers, blah, blah, blah. I mean,
the trailer wasn't that exciting.
There was no one of color. So for me, knowing that Weiner was the one who did Mad Men, and I have nothing against, I know that people loved that show, but it didn't resonate with me. Like I said, there was no diversity. So I was like, Romanoffs, great. And I'm looking at the cast, and I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, there's not a single person of color, no diversity. So I am not interested. And then I watched the first episode. Oh my God, it was so good.
Oh my God.
It was amazing.
I didn't know what to make of it, because at first I was like, is this just like a sketch thing? Because each episode is
a vignette. It stands alone.
Is not connected to anything, but maybe there are 8 episodes, maybe it's going to connect at the end. I don't know. But it's like Matthew Weiner took all of his favorite actors from Mad Men and elsewhere, and European actors, and there's a lot of French stuff.
Martha Keller. She's actually a Swiss actress.
Oh, she's incredible. But
she was so great.
But the basic premise of it is this, and everybody, my mom and I are obsessed with the film Fanny and Alexander in the 70s, the whole myth of the Russian royal family, the Tsar and the Tsarina.
Did they actually continue?
They got executed by the Bolsheviks, and it's like, did Anastasia, the little girl, not die?
Yes. Did she escape?
Get away, and did the family line
carry on the line?
Continue.
Yes.
And so this is like, Matthew Weiner's sort of take on, all the people that claim to be this.
All of these people all over the world, all of these people believe that they have a connection to the Romanoffs.
Right. And it's like it's their magical, royalty that it's there and it makes them different or whatever. Or they have it and they don't give a shit, like in the second episode.
And apparently, I wonder, like, out in the real world, is this like a thing? Or is this something that he's, kind of
made up? I think it is a thing.
You think it's a thing?
Well, it would be nice to do the research and find out.
Where people are like, I'm a Romanoff.
Right, like you're some special. I don't know. Something special. You're just grilled cheese, okay? You're just grilled American cheese with a fake Fabergé egg.
Okay.
But to my surprise, when I watched the second episode, which is totally different from the first and equally as enjoyable, my acting teacher, who I love and adore from Howard Fine Studio in LA, Laura Gardner, played the therapist.
Hi, Laura. And she was so good.
I spit my dinner up. I was like, what? Like, I didn't know she got this part. And I was like, oh my God, I almost choked. She was so good.
She was really good.
She was terrific. Very good work. Anyway, well, the first episode
So that's the premise.
Yeah, so that's the premise.
So that's the premise.
Yeah.
So all of these episodes are about people who somehow, some way, they believe they're holding on to the notion.
Yes, to the dream of they're somehow connected to royalty. And they're special. And the opening of the show open is so stunning.
Now,
it's really incredible.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know if I've said this on this show, but I know that I've said it to you. I hate openings. I'm like, get to the show.
Really? Oh, I love them.
I hate openings.
If they're good, they're good.
I don't even care if they're good. I always hit skip intro. I want to get to the story. That's one of the reasons I love Supernatural. You get the big eye, and it's
always back to Supernatural.
And then
Always
boom, we're into the story. We're into the story.
Okay.
But I have watched it
beautiful.
over and over. And Tom Petty.
I know.
What
It's
a
beautiful.
perfect song.
It's beautiful. So they basically, the camera follows up, the
This
czar's
wall, right.
beautiful palace
And the wall
St.
with all of the
Petersburg
royalty.
and all, all the great wealth and whatever. And the family's getting their royal portrait taken. And it's all set to Tom Petty's Living Like a Refugee.
Yup.
And it's very stylistically done. And then all of a sudden, the Bolsheviks come in and just mow them all down and murder them.
Yes, and then I love, it's a literal bloodline.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So they're bleeding
The
out
blood
and the
drips
blood is draining
credits.
on the floor to the credits. And it's got all of these pictures. They're just photographs.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is that it's not just Caucasians. It's like you're seeing Asian people and black people and Italian people and Jewish people. And, so it's like, it's the mystery,
Yes.
right? Of
Yes.
where does this bloodline lead,
Yes.
right?
And then all of a sudden, there's a young woman, you're supposed to think it's Anastasia, running through the Russian woods like she got away from Rasputin.
Right, with blood on her cape.
With a beautiful blue cape. And then she emerges out of a New York subway and just disappears into the crowd.
It was so good.
It's a stunning
It's
opening.
brilliant.
It's a stunning
It was a
opening.
brilliant
It really is.
opening.
It
So
really is.
I have to tell you, even though, Mr. Weiner, I had an issue with the fact that there does not seem to be any diversity. And I could be wrong, because there are other episodes.
Well, actually...
There's 4 more episodes.
In Mad Men, give them a chance. There were some key black characters towards the last season. There were. Because the civil rights movement was happening. It's
so nice.
true to history, but
That's so
it was
nice
one
of them.
sector. I'm just saying.
So
but anyway.
nice.
So the first episode...
Don't even get me started.
I know, I won't. The first episode takes place in Paris, and you're in this divine, stunning, really
French
regal apartment.
And when we say apartments,
Like
when
the
you
dream
think
apartment. The dream apartment.
Yeah, when you think about apartments that we live in, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. No. We're talking about a grand entrance. We're talking about a parlor.
It's like Marie
We're
Antoinette's apartment.
Well, yeah, we're talking about a concert room.
Giant
we're talking
oil paintings.
Oh my God! From floor to
antiques
ceiling,
and gorgeous floors.
we're talking chandeliers
Oh, it's
everywhere.
insane. It's insane.
They threw back the curtains, and there was the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
I was like, "This is some bullshit right
It
here."
was insane. And,
so beautiful.
Living in this apartment is one woman and her dog. And she's this like some kind of heir. She seems French, but with Russian royal family.
They all had to escape.
Fabergé eggs in the cabinet, and it just seems like okay. And apparently, this apartment was the Duke's mistress's apartment that he bought for her back in the 1700s. Or whatever.
Right.
Anyway,
and she's a horrible human being.
she's a hideous person.
I was wishing for her to just die.
I thought she was going to slip on an egg.
I was praying that she would
and then
slip
just
on that Fabergé
break her
egg.
neck. And her nephew is Aaron Eckhart, who everybody knows, and he speaks French. And
He was so good.
He was really good, and he's a slime ball. But, well, yeah, he kind of is.
That's too bad, because
wait a minute,
I believed it. I believed he was
a
a good...
redeemable slime bag.
Oh, you mean in the show?
Yeah, no, yeah, not.
I thought you meant in real life.
No, not in real
okay,
life.
okay.
No,
I was like, that's so sad
the
to hear.
character he plays.
Yes. Well, it seems like,
I don't know. You don't know.
He is her only living relative.
Yes.
Which means he's the heir apparent.
To the apartment.
The apartment.
Like, this is the apartment.
This is the
You probably can't
apartment.
put a price on this apartment.
No, it's probably priceless.
Like, just millions. Anyway.
Gajillions.
Millions.
So he's the heir apparent, and he's got a gold-digging girlfriend.
Oh, boy, she's
who
shitty.
cannot wait
And she can't shut her mouth.
for Auntie to die. She can't shut the fuck up. I was like, girl.
She says to the aunt's face, "Aren't you dead yet?" I mean, that's how day class A.
That's how I felt about my in-laws.
Horrible. And they can't get a caregiver for this lady because she's such a bitch.
She keeps losing them.
She's a bitch.
She
She's
keeps
horrid.
losing
She's
every
horrible.
caregiver
She's
that
horrible.
comes in to take care of this heifer. She runs them off. She calls them sluts and whores and blah, blah, blah.
Until one day.
But wait, even in the face of them being fired, like the
Yeah,
last one
right.
before the main character comes in, who is the caregiver, but the one before her, remember?
Oh, yeah.
She got fired, and Aaron Eckert was like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry about that," and he was like
Right.
giving her severance pay or whatever,
Right.
and she was like, "I am going to miss this apartment."
Oh, yeah, right.
She said
Wouldn't
it was
anybody?
almost worth it. Remember?
Yeah, that was great. That was so great. It's such a great study in the uber wealthy who are just pigs, most of them, not everybody. So what happens is they can't keep a caregiver, so the agency sends this absolutely stunning woman, and she happens to be Muslim, and she's wearing the hijab, and she walks into this apartment, and immediately the old bitch is like, "Get out! No, I don't live here.
terrorist.
I don't live here.
You have the wrong address.
I don't live here.
Get
I
out.
don't live here.
Get out!"
It's like horrific racism, and she's like,
Oh, it's-
where are you from? She's like, "I was born in Paris, bitch."
But you're not French.
Right? No, so it has a lot, of what France is going through right now with that whole thing.
I remember when I was there a few years ago, I was out and about walking the streets of Paris, and there were these signs, and basically they were outlawing Muslim women being covered. The blatant racism. Oh, it's like now in
Wait a
America.
minute. Yeah. Rings a
Oh.
bell. Rings a bell.
I mean, but it was really, really interesting. So anyway, there's that just blatant.
Yes. And this lady just will not, and it's really harsh, but the caregiver, she's just like, for some reason, she is higher and more evolved person than the old bitch.
Oh yeah, much more.
And so
evolved.
she can see that, she's just lonely.
And she's scared.
She's fascinated by the whole Russian thing and the Fabergé eggs and all the stuff. And so she just kind of can rise above, even though this lady's hideous to her. And then, their whole relationship evolved. We don't want to tell you exactly what happens, but it's so good. It's a great story because it's not what you think.
It's totally not what
And
you
it's
think.
really well done.
Totally not what you
Really
think.
well done.
The last
Really well
3
done.
minutes, your jaw is just going to drop to the floor.
It does.
Your jaw will drop to the floor.
Really good storytelling.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful
very,
storytelling.
very well done.
Cinematically, it's
Very well
gorgeous. The
done.
music was beautiful. The casting was brilliant.
It was.
Absolutely brilliant. So that's episode 1.
And also, I want to say to any of you actors out there and writers, for scenes to write or actors who need like a cool scene to do, there's so many great ones.
Every
Oh my
scene.
God, every scene was like an acting class.
Every scene was an acting class.
It was great. You'll have to see it.
You have to see
have
it.
to see it.
All right, so that was episode 1.
That was episode 1.
And then
okay, just watch it. We'd love to just hear what you think. I mean,
Yes,
you can comment on our Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah. Comment down below
YouTube channel.
on our YouTube channel.
That's right.
Yeah,
FRD,
we're on
hashtag
iTunes.
FRDivas. I mean, I like this kind of short form storytelling. I'd like to see more, quite frankly.
It was actually, I think that it's incredibly original.
It really is.
And I have been enraptured with every single episode. Not a single one so far has made me go, meh. No, I'm just like, oh my God!
I know. And
What?
see, this is how I felt about Mad Men, and it's this type of storytelling. I feel like he just can see things in that lens that most people don't see the nuances, and then he plays upon the nuances, and it's just, you know, that surprise of real life, and you're not expecting it, because let's face it, TV and film a lot of time is fantastical, and it's sewn up, and it's a pretty button, it's a pretty gift box, and it all gets wrapped up perfectly.
It's got to be done in 48 minutes?
Super cliche,
Right.
and we've seen everything you can possibly imagine, and he really mixes it up and shows the human condition. It's great. So see, we find these things for you on Front Row Divas
Little
that
gems.
you might not normally find or watch.
You might not find
Yeah.
because honestly, I knew, just like I said, I looked at the cast list and I
You're
was
like,
like,
no.
I was like, not Mama's bailiwick. You know, in this day and age, I find it very hard to believe, right?
Well,
That there is still such an incredible lack of diversity. The storytelling was brilliant. He gets an A+. Oh my God. Tip my hat to you. But this is 2018.
I know. It really should be more diverse.
And there needs to be
100%.
more diversity. You have to understand.
You got to hear us, Matthew. Come on.
Hear us.
You're so good.
Understand what
Come
it's
on.
like being a little black girl or a little black boy or a little Latino girl or boy or a Native American or an Asian, you know, American. And we grow up needing to see images of ourselves.
It's so
And I think
important.
that's very important.
He needs to see that.
Along with it, now, if he would marry that with his unbelievably brilliant storytelling, I would be a devotee.
I really enjoyed it. All right, and hope you will too.
heard it here.
On Amazon Prime. You're already buying Amazon Prime anyway.
Right? You want that 2-day free shipping?
Watch it. Watch it.
So, you're welcome.
Okay.
You guys could be listening to anyone else, and we appreciate that you spent your time with us. You're amazing.
So follow us on the various platforms.
And here they come in no particular order.
Facebook,
YouTube,
Instagram,
Twitter,
our website,
frdivas.com, and iTunes. We are also
oh my
on
God.
iTunes.
And aren't we some like featured thing on iTunes, or we're just regular?
There's nothing regular about us. Okay, let me be clear. There's nothing regular about us.
We are on iTunes. People, we made it. We've done something in our life. We did something that and we want to thank our moms.
Mom, I love you. Thank you, Mom.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Franny.
Lisa.
Love you.
We love
Thanks
you.
for believing in me.
Thank
Okay,
you
bye.
for believing in us for our that.